What if the biggest weakness in artificial intelligence was something so basic that we've been overlooking it completely? Apple's researchers just uncovered a fundamental flaw in how AI thinks, and it's worse than anyone expected. Stay until the end to learn why this discovery could change everything we thought we knew about AI safety. I'm Evan Goldstein. I'm a licensed professional engineer and a data scientist. I'm creating the AI Capitalist channel to give leaders and thinkers like you the tools that you need to navigate the brave new world of machine intelligence. So let's start with a math question. Oliver grabs 44 kiwis on Friday. Then he hits up another 58 kiwis on Saturday. On Sunday, he goes all in and picks double what he took on Friday, but he's got to deal with 5 of those being a little smaller than the usual size. So how many kiwis does Oliver have? Don't do the math. I'll just do it for you. It's 190. If you said 190, then good for you. You nailed it, just like the average kid in school would. It's Friday's 44 plus Saturday's 58 plus Sunday 88 from doubling Friday. You even outperformed 20 high-tech AI models tested by researchers at Apple. Apparently those AI bots just kept missing the mark. Apple really stirred the pot with its latest findings, but honestly, the results weren't shocking at all. The Apple crew discovered some pretty big uh-oh moments with these models when they were faced with basic math problems written in a more laid-back essay style. For instance, when the question asked about the kiwis, the system totally flubbed it by thinking the size of the kiwis impacted how many kiwis Oliver had. Some models even ended up deducting those 5 small kiwis from the total and came back with 185. Meanwhile, the researchers found that kids in school are way better at figuring out what's important and what's not when reading. Their findings dropped in October in a paper that quickly caught the eye of folks in the AI labs and in the general public alike. It's not just because it's well-researched, but also because Apple's the big player in the tech game, rolling out new AI features for iPhones all the time. So what did they learn? Well, Apple's findings align with earlier research showing that big language models, or LLMs, don't really think. They just match words and patterns from the data that they've been fed. When it comes to abstract thinking, something humans are pretty good at, the AI models just miss the mark. Even little kids can learn abstract rules pretty quickly, and this basically highlights the massive gap in basic reasoning between humans and those fancy AI systems. That's super important since large language models like GPT are at the heart of the AI products that everyone's buzzing about. But the models that Apple tested kept getting tripped up on the language patterns that they learned. The Apple team set out to find out if these models have even a basic grasp of math concepts. And guess what? They came back with a big nope. They also asked if these issues could easily be fixed, and once again, the answer is no. The researchers were pretty skeptical about scaling up data or tweaking models to make it better. One thing you can fix is helping to break AI Capitalist out of small channel hell. So if you could just push that like button, that would help spread this message to others who might benefit from its message. I genuinely appreciate every like I get. Apple's research sheds light on the limits of AI, and it serves as a necessary wake-up call against the hype from companies pushing their AI gadgets like OpenAI and Google's DeepMind lab. These sales pitches often paint their models as reliable, but the truth is their outputs can be pretty questionable, especially in serious areas like healthcare where accuracy is crucial. And that's not always the case. Yes, they rolled out updates to Whisper at the end of 2023, and yeah, it got a little better, but the researchers still pointed out that it often hallucinates. That hasn't stopped the hype-happy AI fans from showing off their products. Just take a peek at Elon Musk's tweet from October 29th. He asked folks to send in X-ray, PET, MRI, and other medical images to Grok, which is his AI app on X, which is Twitter, for a checkup. He claimed that Grok is already quite accurate and will become extremely good. And honestly, we all know that any tool used in healthcare for analyzing medical images needs to be way more than just extremely good, whatever that even is. This brings us to the Apple study. It's important to mention that researchers aren't just throwing shade at AI. They genuinely believe that it's crucial to understand its limitations. The team threw some questions at AI models taken from a popular collection of over 8,000 grade school math problems that test kids on addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. When they threw in extra details that might seem relevant but actually weren't, the models seriously struggled. And this poor performance wasn't just limited to one model. Even versions of OpenAI's ChatGPT bots, Meta's Llama, Microsoft Phi 3, Google's Gemma, and a bunch of other models from the French lab Mistral AI all faced the same issues. Some did better than others, but they all sank when the problems got trickier or the wording was a little off. One problem tossed in a basket of school supplies like erasers, notebooks, and writing paper. To solve it, you needed to multiply how many of each item there were by their prices and then add it all up to the total cost. But when the bots heard, due to inflation, prices were 10% cheaper last year, they dropped the cost by 10%, which is a major fail. The question was about what the basket costs now, not last year. Right, so what went wrong? Large language models are built or trained by feeding them tons of written stuff scraped from books and the internet, not by teaching them math principles. They work by finding patterns in the data and trying to match those patterns to whatever question they're faced with. But they get too cozy with their training information. They memorize what's out there online and then try to match patterns instead of actually reasoning through the problem. It's more like a weak reasoning and not the real deal. And this really puts a cap on what artificial intelligence can do. In crucial situations, human will almost always need to be in the loop, as AI developers like to say, checking answers for glaring mistakes or guiding the bots to avoid misinterpreting information, misreporting facts, or filling in blanks to random fabrications. On one hand, that's somewhat reassuring because it means that AI systems can't do much without human backup. But it also means that we need to be cautious about the tendency of AI promoters to hype up their products while glossing over their limits. The real issue isn't what AI can achieve, but how users can be tricked into thinking that it's got more capabilities than it actually does. And these systems are always going to mess up because hallucinations are just part of the package. The way that they try to reason is more of an approximation of looking at what a human would do in this situation, not actually reasoning. Let's face it, none of this is changing until we get some brand new technology. Now, the AI industry is pushing for AGI, or artificial general intelligence, and that's the kind of machine knowledge that can fully simulate the same cognitive abilities and capabilities of a human. The solution so far has been to throw more and more and more and more computing power at the problem. That's resulting in some pretty weird answers. So what we're really seeing is that in certain ways, AI is already better than humans, but there are these fundamental limitations, certain parts of thinking that we're still at 0%. We're still nowhere near what a human can do. So it seems like this is an intelligence, but it's not going to be simulating a human intelligence. And so there's always those talents that humans can do that no one else can. Don't stop now. I have dozens more videos. This video is part of a playlist, which I'll post for you here so that you can go through and watch other videos that are similar, or you can watch our newest videos, and we have lots of other playlists. So keep clicking, keep watching. Click over there.